Okay. Okay, let me do one again, a soft reminder email to all the attendees. Okay, doctor.
First.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is Dr. Ghulam Mustafa Abro, and I'll be the second speaker as well as the host for this session. We have Dr. Lina from University of Glasgow. We are about to begin. Doctor, is it okay if we can wait for a few more minutes, like the audience is joining gradually?
Yes, yes, certainly we can do that. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So, ladies and gentlemen, we exercise patience for a few more minutes, and then inshallah we will begin soon. Thank you for being with us.
Ghulam, shall we get started? I'm just aware that people might have other commitments soon, so I think we can make a start.
Yes, doctor, we are about to start. Give me a second. Yeah. Okay. Are we good to start? May I have your permission to start it?
Yes, let's go ahead.
Yeah. So start with the name of God, Allah Almighty, ever compassionate and merciful. Thank you all who have joined this webinar. I hope a few of them will join in a while, I guess. So today we have been gathered to address one of the important areas in UAV, which is UAV assisted communication for ubiquitous and secure connectivity. This is one of the dimension of this session. Later on, I'll be talking on the UAV detection and security threats. So without further delay, let me introduce you our first speaker, none other than Dr. Lina Mohjazi. She's a lecturer of autonomous systems and connectivity with the James Watt School of Engineering, University of Glasgow, UK. She received her bachelor's degree from the United Arab Emirates University, UAE, in 2008. Later, she pursued master's degree from Khalifa University and completed in distinction category in 2012. More on, she had a PhD degree from the Institute for Communication Systems, University of Surrey, UK, in 2018, all in electrical and electronic engineering. She has co-authored more than 60 research papers in international high-impact journals and highly rated conferences, as well as book chapters. Her research interests include green and sustainable wireless communication, IoT, machine learning, big data analytics, energy efficiency, fundamental performance, and beyond 5G and its applications. She's also a fellow of Women's Engineering Society and senior member of IEEE Women in Engineering. Currently, she is associate editor for IEEE Communications Letters, and in inclusion to this entire biography, she was a technical program committee member and session chair for IEEE flagship conferences. Without further delay, I would like to request now our speaker, Dr. Lina, to take over the charge and start the topic. Dr. Lina, the floor is yours, please.
Thank you so much, Ghulam. Assalamu alaikum. Ramadan Kareem for you and everyone attending. It is my absolute pleasure to be here with you, and special thanks to the Space and Aviation Center within the King Fahd University of Petroleum and Minerals for having me to exchange knowledge, learn more about your research activities, and perhaps trigger some further future collaborations. It is my pleasure to talk today about unlocking the potentials of UAV-assisted communications for ubiquitous and secure connectivity. So I am currently an assistant professor in green and sustainable wireless comms within the James Watt School of Engineering, University of Glasgow, UK, and I'm also a member of the Communications Sensing and Imaging Group. Thank you, Ghulam, for the very nice introduction. I would love to start with introducing a little bit about the university, my research group, and more about the research activities within a focus on UAV-assisted communications. So just to give you a background of the University of Glasgow, it has been established in 1451, and it is the fourth oldest university in the English-speaking world after University of Oxford, University of Cambridge, University of St. Andrews. And University of Glasgow has been ranked within the top 100 universities of the world, and it is the 13th in the world within sustainability ranking and the Times Higher Education Impact ranking. It is a member of the Russell Group universities of the UK, which are the research intensive universities. And on top of that, it is home for 8 Nobel laureates who are connected to the university. And it has been home to leading scientists throughout the history, including James Watt, who conducted his early experiments in the University of Glasgow for developing steam power engine, and also Lord Kelvin, who is a preeminent scientist who is basically put the foundation, theoretical and practical research of a wide range of physical sciences. So as I mentioned, I am part of the CSI group. This group grew from 5 members to more than 100 members in only 4 years, and we come from around 22 countries, doing multidisciplinary kind of research, and we do that on the basis of a strong funding portfolio from different funding agencies from around the UK and internationally as well. We do host collaborations internationally and around the UK, not only with academic institutions, but also with industry. And we are home for the Scotland 5G Centre, which is the national centre for accelerating the development and adoption of 5G connectivity in Scotland's industry and public sectors, which is funded by the Scottish Environment. We kind of focus on different emerging research areas, all relevant to communication, sensing, and imaging, but with a special focus on AI-driven design, intelligent reflective surfaces, antenna research and fabrication, signal processing for future waveforms, free space optics and wireless backhaul, wireless communications for healthcare, self-organizing networks, and so on. And we also conduct a joint kind of research across these different main areas to promote impactful research. So I think I'm gonna go over my background very, very briefly, because Ghulam has thankfully provided it nicely. So I have I grew up in the Emirates, despite being from Syria. So I finished my electrical engineering, the bachelor's degree, the master's degree, and that is in the field of electrical and communications engineering from UA University and Khalifa University. I have completed the electrical and electronics engineering from the University of Surrey, which was also, which is home to the 5 to 6G Innovation Center, one of the leading centers in the UK in 6G research. And later on, I have taken the role of a visiting research associate at the University of Glasgow within the CSI group. And in 2020, I started my appointment as an assistant professor at the University of Glasgow, but I'm also supporting a transnational education program in partnership with the University of Electronic Science and Technology in China. So I often travel to China to deliver undergraduate courses, while my postgraduate research is based in Glasgow. Throughout my master's, PhD, and visiting research stage, I have also taken different teaching roles, starting from a teaching assistant, lab instructor, and a lecturer at Khalifa University to make a combined teaching experience of about 10 to 12 years. So while my research area focus on the broad topic of green and sustainable wireless communications, I am particularly interested in exploring beyond 5G wireless technologies, which are underpinned as green and sustainable, such as reconfigurable intelligent surfaces, wireless power transfer, aerial terrestrial networks, secure communication networks, vision-aided communications, where we use multi-modal sensory data to optimize the performance of communication networks. So I work on the intersection of these different topics, and I am fortunate to have an amazing group of researchers and PhD students who support and drive this research. So in today's presentation, I am going to start by providing a general perspective on the beyond 5G and 6G technologies. What are the identified use cases? What are the architectural pillars? And from there, I'm going to motivate the need for innovating in UAV networks beyond existing conventional technologies to address the needs of those use cases that I've identified before. And from there, I am going to provide an overview of the implementation of reconfigurable intelligence surfaces to support UAV networks in order to promote ubiquitous connectivity and coverage. But I will technology that promotes security and decentralization in UAV networks. So as you can tell, I'm going to give you a perspective from the communication side, and I will basically provide highlights on the potentials and limitations of those framework in my concluding remarks. So to start with, in this graph over here, it shows us that in the last decade, terrestrial networks have witnessed an explosive growth in users and services. And this is expected that in the near future that these networks are going to support at least 1,000-fold traffic volumes and connect 100 billion wireless devices. And naturally, it would be difficult to accommodate the increasing data demands over the limited capacity of current terrestrial base stations. And this is attributed to the emergence of novel technological trends, as well as the evolution of connected intelligence platforms, promoting massive scale connectivity. And with the remarkable revolutionary advancements in the field of wireless communications, it is envisioned that these numbers will continue to rise exponentially, as the graph show. And as a result, this will lead to enlarging connected devices and will create a bottleneck on the limited resources of wireless network. So therefore, there will be a continuous need to develop the existing network infrastructure to meet the diversified demands. And in the past, we have seen a consistent cycle of mobile technology evolution in terms of a new generation of cellular network innovation being launched every decade. And as the diagram shows over here, ever since the introduction of the first generation of the cellular networks, there's been a fairly regular evolution to enhance the cellular capabilities for the past 4 decades. And within the introduction of each new generation, not only has the network performance improved, but also new and more advanced applications and devices have become available. And likewise, with the 5th generation, both the network enhancements in terms of bandwidth and ultra-low latency services, as well as features such as improved power efficiency, cost optimization, massive Internet of Things density, and dynamic resource allocation are offered or yet to be offered to enable a wide spectrum of wireless applications and IoT connections. So 5G wireless networks come with fundamental use cases, which are enhanced mobile broadband, massive machine type communications, and ultra reliable and low latency communications. Those are identified as the backbone of emerging Internet of Things services and to support their diverse application scenarios. And nonetheless, these kind of services are rate and data oriented. They are heterogeneous in nature in terms of the services they require, in terms of the traffic they generate, and hence they are identified by a diverse and sometimes conflicting set of performance indicators. And as such, enabling them through a single platform while concurrently meeting their stringent requirements in terms of data rate, reliability, and latency is a challenging task. So there is a need to look beyond 5G systems, even though 5G is gaining ground and its roll-up is still undergoing. The research community has already shifted their attention towards laying the foundation of next generation, or otherwise the sixth generation of communication systems. And the 6G is envisioned to create seamless reality where the physical and digital worlds, which are so far separated, are converged. And this will enable seamless movement in terms of the cyber-physical continuum of a connected physical world of senses, actions, and experiences, and its programmable digital representation. So achieving the above demands of the 5G, and also driven by some identified use cases, such as the Internet of Senses, digitalized programmable physical world, connected sustainable world, and connected intelligent machines, which are identified by Ericsson recently, and you can find more details about them in our recent magazine paper. Those main four use cases have been the pillars to drive the need of coming up with innovative wireless technologies that will lay the foundation to have the interactions between all of these different use cases. So the essence of the Internet of Sense is built on delivering multisensory experiences over the network, and it allows humans to have digital sensory immersive experiences that replicate or even augment what we experience in the physical world through visual, auditory, haptic, olfactory stimuli. Also, the tremendous growth in connected IoT, which is based on the real-time exchange of data generated from billions of embedded sensors and actuators, creates the fabric for the digital and programmable representation of the physical world. And also, the networks were designed to mainly serve people in the past. However, future mobile networks will be able to communicate with various intelligent entities, whether they are machines, robotics, UAVs, and as such, they need to be powered by intelligence and ultimately enable widespread interactions between human and those machines to solve complicated tasks. Finally, and additionally, future networks, they need to guarantee worldwide digital inclusion, sustainability, and connectivity for all in a resource efficient manner. So all of these use cases create the foundation for coming up with enabling technologies to support them. I appreciate that there are lots of elements to comprehend in this graph. However, the details are again in this magazine. I will briefly highlight it just to be conscious of the time. So enabling those four fundamental use cases require four fundamental broad enabling technologies, which are limitless connectivity, trustworthy systems, cognitive networks, network compute fabric. And when I talk about limitless connectivity, this comes from the fact that emerging societal trends and applications relying on fully automated systems and intelligent services are validating the importance of telecommunication systems in delivering limitless connectivity. Both at the performance coverage level, meaning that connectivity should be available to anyone, anytime, and anywhere, and that the quality of service should satisfy the application and user requirement in order to bridge the digital divide in a sustainable manner. When we talk about trustworthy systems, we are referring over here for the fact that when we move forward, network capabilities will evolve to the point where they can accommodate even the most mission and business critical use cases scenarios. And this impels the need for secure, resilient, and privacy preserving network platforms with proven satisfactory performance in challenging environments, such as, for example, environments where drones or UAVs are deployed. Cognitive networks, and this is underpinned by the fact that we need to realize fully autonomous network that is capable of supporting a wide spectrum of versatile services at no extra cost or complexity. And this is really important to raise the network intelligence level in order to provide a zero-touch deployment and operation and continuous real-time sensing and response to the environment. The network compute fabric, there needs to be revolutionary also innovations in terms of providing a pervasive network platform that tightly and effectively integrates the discussed 4 use cases above, and this will form the pillar of the 6G architecture, where we see the network working as one single unified entity to satisfy the different use case requirements, and as such, innovative technologies should be developed to provision unification across all ecosystem. So in our magazine paper, we have identified a number of pillars that I will talk about. However, before that, it is just interesting to highlight that my research area sits at the intersection of non-terrestrial access components, secure handling of third-party components, and collaborative and distributed security response, as well as looking at programmable materials through the reflective surfaces. So as I mentioned, we have identified 6 architectural pillars, or otherwise a formula for 6G, 3 Cs and 3 Ds, to make a six integrated architectural pillars. And the 3 Cs are formed from the need of unifying control, compute, and cognition across all the wireless communication cycle, starting from the design, operation, maintenance, and all. Also, we have looked at the need for ensuring that all the distribution, digitalization, and densification of the control, compute, and cognition work homogeneously together. So we have identified those pillars which will drive the research, future research further into this domain. And as such, because of the need to come up with innovative technologies that would require us to be able to understand the network environment and respond to us in a rather autonomous way. And because of my interest in unmanned aerial vehicles, as well as very flexible wireless technologies, I have looked at they can play a key role in supporting one or some of the previous architectural pillars. And this comes from the fact that UAVs have been recently deployed to assist terrestrial base stations to extend the capacity in terms of coverage and resource allocations, because they can provide a scalable and higher chance of obstacle-free wireless communications. And hence, their adoption in wireless communication is quite wide and has received a very mature or a well-established momentum in terms of attraction from academia and industry. And 5G and beyond wireless communications can leverage the support of aerial communication access points due to their capabilities and benefits in terms of providing dynamic deployment, providing high line of sight links between different entities which are part of the network, and because of their ease of deployment and affordably low infrastructure cost. So all of that makes UAV a key player or key players in future wireless networks. However, there exist some challenges in current UAV-assisted communications, and those challenges are conflicting with each other. For example, there's a conflict between the need to provide low hardware cost, but also support a big number of users, or support high throughput demands for diverse applications as identified by the previous use cases. So any high spatial resolution comes at a cost of expensive hardware, whether if it is the need to create high frequency communication chains, or to create massive multiple input, multiple output systems to support a wide array or a wide range of coverage area, or a big scale of communication users. And also when it comes to densification that I have mentioned before, supporting dense wireless topologies requires extremely high cost of deployment and coordination. So imagine if we have a high scale of UAV deployment supporting these ultra-dense networking. So the complexity of the design, optimization, management becomes even more complicated. So with that, there is a need to come up with innovations that support UAV-assisted communications. Not only that, but also there is a conflict between the flexible network deployment and low energy consumption and high security threats. So fixed access points such as terrestrial networks, they cannot guarantee to adapt to dynamically changing user traffic. And we will see that the traffic demands will be the change in the traffic demands will be at a very, very high rate in future communication networks. But on the contrary, moving access points such as UAVs will involve high energy consumption because of their mobility. They will also involve some disrupted link because of the urban environments and the densification. This leads for their signal quality, their received signal quality to drop in certain scenarios. And because of their fast movement as well, there is a need to come up with high mobility management techniques, but to provide a very low latency communications. And on top of that, the broadcast nature of UAV-assisted wireless networks make them highly susceptible to privacy and security breaches and vulnerabilities, which can impact the overall communication reliability. So as such, there is always a trade-off when it comes to UAV-assisted communications to support future wireless communications. So there is a need for them to provide ubiquitous connectivity on demand to support flexible kind of application and emerging scenarios. But there is also another element to it, which is doing all of that in a secure manner. So to address these two aspects, my research group is working on innovating and coming up with examining solutions and state-of-the-art technologies that support UAV-assisted communications for ubiquitous connectivities. And this is where they are exploring the employability of reconfigurable intelligence surfaces to assist UAV communications. And another group of students are looking at developing blockchain-empowered frameworks to support secure UAV communications. So I'm going to give you a brief of and highlight of the two frameworks. Let us start with the first one, which is RIS. So I'm going to use RIS for short now. RIS-assisted UAV networks for ubiquitous connectivity. So the employment of reconfigurable intelligent surfaces in UAV network has gained a tremendous amount of interest in the past, say, couple of years. And this is due to their very unique features that I will talk about in a minute. So they are expected to support a vast applications of wireless communications, not only UAV, but they have a particular also attention and interest in supporting UAV networks. So to give a bit of fundamentals on their operation requirements and a bit of a background on what is this technology about and what it is expected to do. So supporting 6G technologies at low cost and high spatial resolution is challenging, especially when this needs to be done at an easy to deploy fashion. But also there is a need to come up with a technology that is compatible with the 6G demands on communication and sensing. So recently, researchers have come up with this technological paradigm, which is reconfigurable intelligence surfaces, which are basically surfaces that has different patches or element patches that can be deployed between a wireless transmitter and a wireless receiver to control the propagation of wireless signals in the environment. And in this way, they would offer a fast response to changes in the propagation environment. To simplify this a bit further, if we look at the current wireless network situation, we can see that, let's say, for example, base station is trying to communicate with mobile M. However, due to a blocking object, communication cannot be established through this link. So the mobile M will be handed over to another nearby base station that can support the communication. Another scenario would be if there is an object that will cause refraction to the signal to an illegitimate wireless user, like an eavesdropper, where the signal should not be intended to reach to that user. However, due to that object, it is reaching to that user who is eavesdropping. Another case would be that the wireless signal would undergo diffusion or refraction, and in that case, say we have a glass, for example, and because of that, the signal is diffracted, and then it is reaching to other wireless user, causing them interference. So at the moment, we can say that the propagation environment is out of our control. We cannot control the propagation environment itself. We can control the transmission schemes, we can control the reception schemes, but we cannot control the wireless network. So we can say that current wireless networks are dumb. In other words, we lack the full control over the propagation and the scattering of the electromagnetic waves. And the environment at the moment, it is unaware of the ongoing communications. And this poses fundamental limitations to build a truly pervasive software-defined wireless networks, a network that can respond to the environment and understand the needs on the spot, on demand. So as I mentioned, at the moment, only the transmitter and or the receiver elements or operation is optimized to improve network KPIs such as capacity, coverage, bit error rate, reliability, latency, and all of that. However, the environment is just a passive spectator at the moment. So what we are looking forward to, we are looking forward to have a smart wireless network where we can control the propagation of the electromagnetic waves within the vicinity, where we can control the reflections of the wireless propagation to steer the signal towards a desired destination or direction and suppress it in other destination. What we want to achieve is a propagation environment which is under our control, and that we can call it smart because we can now include that component, which was previously a black box for us. We can include it into the optimization of the performance analysis of networks. And as such, this technological paradigm, which is the RIS, have gained a wide range of interest because it has different potential applications when it comes to wireless communications, because these kind of surfaces, through very low cost kind of electronics circuitries, we can control through them the propagation and the reflection of the electromagnetic waves that are hitting their surface. So any electromagnetic waves that hits those surfaces, we can control their reflections in a desired direction, because we can, for example, support multiple users through beam splitting and beamforming steering at a very low cost and low energy signal without the need to deploy a new base station or a new access point, a new RF chain in general. And we can use them, for example, to support relaying communications. So in environments where there is high blockage of signals, we can use them, hang them on the wall, hang them on building facades, hang them on street sideways in order to reflect signals from base stations to users which are undergoing some signal blockages. And on top of that, because of their ability to do beam absorption, so we can suppress the beam from reaching to undesired directions, offering physical layer security. So because of their vast benefits, we have explored their deployment in UAV-assisted communications, and that's mainly the first framework that I will explore. So, and this work is in collaboration with Nokia. So basically, The first model over here is to support aerial to ground links in order to maximize the UAV coverage area and increase the transmit power efficiency. And in the other scenario, we have considered an RIS to support ground to air links in order to effectively counteract the signal to noise ratio drop that occurs to strong interference when UAV is flying at a relatively high altitude. So our research is to build, what we did is that we have built a comprehensive theoretical framework based on analytical expressions that include the different channel models between different entities in the network, including all system parameters and configurations, including RIS element, number of elements, UAV altitude. And with those derived expressions such as outage probability, bit error rate, capacity, achievable throughput, we were able to provide a comprehensive examination of the trade-offs and the impact of system parameters on its performance to provide insights for system designers and investigate the fundamental limits of the performance under different scenarios. So our research sits at the fundamental level of the technology readiness level, which is the TRL 1 and 2. And from those studies, I will not take you through the technical or say the heavy mathematical formulations, and I'm just conscious of the time. So just to give you a brief findings of our results reveal the fact that we can identify what is the best UAV height that should be maintained in order to support a seamless connectivity, ubiquitous connectivity, in order to reach a desired or a tolerable outage probability of the network. Obviously, we observed that increasing the number of RIS elements improved significantly the coverage area, and in that sense, we understood that without the need to increase the transmit power, by only increasing the number of elements used at the RIS, which are very, very low cost, we can achieve a similar performance, which is achieved at higher transmit power. So from this finding, we came to the fact that there is a need to do a joint optimization in the transmit beamforming at the base station and how we control the reflections in order to receive the required performance underhand. So again, we did the same for the second model, and we revealed the same kind of results. However, those insights are needed for design aspects to understand at which distance we need to implement the RIS and the UAV, what are the needed transmit power, what is the needed number of RIS elements in order to achieve what we are looking for when we design such networks. So I am going to skip this part over here, but I will share those slides for interested audience. We did the same for multi-hop communication systems where UAVs are supporting scenarios such as rural connectivity, disaster response, or urban connectivity enhancements to improve the wireless communication and extend the coverage. I am going to skip those parts and just provide two simple sentences over here. We have looked at the use of blockchain-empowered UAV networks for secure connectivity, and my PhD student is looking at how we can make use of the blockchain terminology, which is the underlying technology for cryptocurrency Bitcoin, how we can use it as an effective, robust, and secure technology to support security in UAV communications. Interested colleagues, they can look at our recently published paper, Blockchain-Empowered, Immutable, and Reliable Diversity Services using UAV Networks. Our finding revealed that this kind of technology can help us provide on-demand UAV connectivity in disaster or post-disaster environments at a trustworthy level in a very minimum delay possible to support a secure and secure deployment. So apologies for going a bit beyond the time. I tried to cover the highlights of the framework, but Ghulam, please do let me know if that is okay, just to go over one fundamental result over here.
Yeah, sure, doctor. No problem.
Thank you so much. So our results reveal over here is that as the number of users increase in a network, then compared to a traditional blockchain network, our proposed framework have revealed the fact that we would need a lower number of UAV connectivity, because the design of that secure blockchain-enabled framework allow us to recruit the smallest number of drones, but also to support the highest trustworthiness when these drones join those disaster management communication networks on demand. And this result demonstrates the fact that we can highly scale up that network deployment to cover a wide area of application. So to sum up, moving towards future direction, I will go back to that figure that I have put earlier on. So going to that part, we would need to innovate and revolutionize technologies, not only in wireless communications, but also do multidisciplinary research to kind of underpin different aspects relevant to these enabling, potential enabling technologies for future 6G research directions. And to summarize, from our investigations, we have seen that RIS and blockchain are really promising technological paradigms for future UAV-assisted wireless networks. There is a heavy demand for proper modeling and characterization of the wireless channel environment to provide those fundamental performance insights. Also, blockchain mechanisms are foreseen to play a pivotal role in secure UAV communications, but also there is a need to look at more advanced technologies to support a wide area of potential applications. So perhaps there is a need to employ machine learning approaches for intelligent application scenarios and to support real-world implementations with latency constraints. This is something that is part of our future work at the moment. So I'm really looking ahead for our future collaborations between our institute and your institute, whether it is to support research visits to Glasgow, work on joint publications, or I'm happy to host PhD students who are funded by the Saudi government. We have so many Saudi students, so it would be my absolute pleasure to support those applications. So please take a look at our recent Visionary magazine articles where we lay the foundation for potential future wireless technologies. And with that, let me conclude that nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. Thank you so much for having me again. And please do let me know if you have any questions. I'm really happy to take any questions you might have.
Yeah. Thank you so much for presenting a very good presentation and awareing us about the research that is going on. I would just like to, yeah, and my mic is open. I'm
yes,
audible.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
So I'm also thankful to the audience that is attending our session. If you have any question, I would like to request you to hold on. Maybe after my session, you can ask collectively those questions. Is it okay with you, Dr. Lina?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. Yeah, apologies for going beyond time.
No problem, no problem. I would like to share my screen now. Okay. Okay, my screen is visible. Okay, my screen is visible now, doctor?
Yes, I can see that.
Okay, so yeah. Okay, without further delay, I would like to just initiate the topic, because the main purpose of these sessions, which are like very summarized, and they are not like conventional keynote talks, they are actually because of this thing to aware the audience, like PG students or the research scholars, about the recent advancement of particular topic. So the topic today is UAV detection, security, and communication advancement. So introducing myself, this is hello from my side. I'm Dr. Ghulam Mustafa Abro. Currently, I'm working as a postdoctoral researcher in IRC for Aviation and Space Exploration. I have 50 plus articles, and currently my citation score on Google Scholar is 360. It's because of the collaborators. I believe in collaboration. I believe that I never walked alone. I have just completed my PhD back in 2023 in electrical and electronic engineering, but the thesis topic was control system and observer design for under-actuated quad rotor UAVs. So I have this kind of a research area. Apart from that, I have got a flavor of research mobility program in France. I joined Telecom Sud Paris for a few couple of months to complete one of my research objectives over there. Then my MS in electronic engineering is again from Pakistan Sir Syed University. In my bachelor's, I hold a good record, academic record, and I hold a gold medal for being valedictorian student from Hamdard University, Karachi. And my research areas are unmanned autonomous vehicles, swarm robotics. Currently, we are working on swarm of different unmanned autonomous systems here in KFUPM under IRC for aviation and space exploration. Uh, these are the common, the frequent, what we say, a traditional kind of a style to present a small kind of a summary regarding this topic. We start with the background. Of course, our main focus is to tell you about the research problems and the issues so that you can later on collab with us, with Dr. Lina. This is kind of okay. I will skip this one and quickly go to the main content of our presentation, which starts from the background. Since we all know that UAV is a next big thing. I mean, it was the days when it was an infancy stage, but now it is just trying to adapt our in the routine of. In our current routines, we can see drones in agriculture. We can see the drones in the domestic and the military applications in any way, like for delivery, for taxi, for the terror control, for the crime control. So these are the malevolent and benevolent usage of drones, which I have just figured it out in front of you. Cybersecurity attacks is also one of the areas where drones have been used widely. So this is kind of overall picture of background. Now the thing is, these common thing are again, you can see these things in front of any small seminars or any webinar. But the thing is, what is the current progress going on? So like any the world class labs that have been working in the field of UAVs, like Dr. Lina mentioned that they have been working on assistive communication. And then there is one of the labs that is Dakota State University, USA, which are actually working in different areas like the monitoring of civil construction sites or infrastructure. Then they are actually working on payload development and sensor network modules. And of course, one of the element is to do the projects and then the knowledge transfer program for 12 months. You can see the picture over here. So these are the things that are going on in the field of drone. But what are the constraints? What are the problems? So today we're gonna explore those things. Let me start you with one of the Iranian engineer who actually ambushed the RQ-170 drone. Its name is Sentinel. Sentinel is actually they gave the name because it was used to safeguard or monitoring the special jurisdiction. So Iranian engineer, when they saw that RQ-170 is in their jurisdiction, they use a savvy technique to ambush that RQ-170. So from then it has been started that we can control the signals. We can signal jam the signals of any high sensitive drone that is coming in a critical jurisdiction. Then we can also manipulate the drone's trajectory, and then we can also access the recording of a drone which is going through a specific a specific land. And then if you can see the malicious communication, like they uh, you know do some what we say abusive stuff with the drones to see to infringe the privacy of any one individual or family or any particular organization. Spoof signal is also one of the area where they drive the drone in a wrong direction, and like there are the ways to control the drone, and they are really expert in it. So with the passage of time, as we saw that initially there was no any restriction on purchasing drones, but now as you see that China unmanned aerial vehicle industry concluded that by the next year 2025 you will have like they will reach until 80 billion yuan. So I think the market potential is increasing again and again by the year of the time, and you have witnessed that drones have been utilized in several domestic things also. Like for example, if there's a FIFA match, they create a 3D kind of a gesture, 3D type of visualization. So I mean to say that but with the time, the usage and the utilization of drone has been increased, but at the same time they can be controlled and manipulated in a wrong way. So this was started. This is kind of a general background that how drones started. They started with the simple balloon, where the Austrian used these balloons on actually the Italian audience, like to bomb them, and then gradually it started, and then we witnessed that in 1995 we have notorious killer drone, which was equipped later on with the weapons like the missiles, and they used to crash on different countries. We have seen past in Afghanistan and other countries. So yeah, these drones are now more than equipped with the sensors than our expectations. And it is not like that people were not aware about these communication threats. They were aware, and they were doing some sort of programs to overcome these things. It is started from 1930, 1941, and 1973. There were different programs for overcoming these kind of challenges related to the communication. As per the media of like broadcasted by British thing, but there are several rules, like for if we talk about CAA or FAA, there are several rules. Certain rules are very common. They are applicable to every jurisdiction while you are flying a drone. For example, you must register your drone. You must not fly over certain feet or certain meters, and then it's quite illegal if you crash a drone in a jurisdiction where you the jurisdiction is specified that is highly critical, or you damage something. So these are some of the rules, but again the country to country these rules are changed. So we should come up with the policy, a universal policy for all drones. So this is one of the constraints that people can work on, the researchers, scholars can work on, to come up with a policy amendments regarding the utilization of the drone. So another thing is the communication. If you see, there are three things here. One is ground control room, that is used to control your drone, and then there are several mediums, like people are controlling drone through IoT, through RF module, through satellite, through antenna. So these are the bandwidth for those mediums where you control them, and there are the purposes of this thing. I mean, if you want to use in such operations where data sharing is important, you use it on this this particular bandwidth, which is 50302 to 5091 megahertz. And there are certain like frequencies. I just want to show you that each frequency bandwidth has a different kind of utilization. But then if we see that again, it has been classified that we have different tiers of drone. We have small micro drones, which are Netra, Batmaf is a kind of example. Then we have RQ2 Pioneer, which are actually low altitude, having long endurance. They can go for long time. MQ Predator Tier 2. So for all these different drones, you have different altitude and different communication protocol to be followed. Like some are controlled using satellite in a very good way, some are through Wi-Fi. Mostly the drones that you are looking for aerial photography, they are controlled through Wi-Fi. So these are the things. Apart from that, you can also control the drone through satellite. So we have geostationary Earth orbit, medium Earth orbit, and low Earth medium orbit. So you can utilize those communication. But what are the challenges? Like, this kind of a data is already available on internet, but what is the issues? So I have categorized these communication based on satellite and classification of UAV based on communication channels, to just let you know that right now the main thing is, majority the research scholars feel that they are unable to prove the concept of this communication when it comes to a hardware validation. Why? Because they discourage to operate the drone beyond the line of sight, where you can your drone should be in front of you. You cannot fly a drone a bit far from your sight, line of sight. So that is one of the constraints that people are avoiding. So what is the idea is to utilize maybe the digital twin applications for drones to prove the communication, to validate the communication solutions related to the communication problems and constraints. So I'll skip this slide. This slide is the same that I have just narrated now. One of the threats is not only the threat that you know you infringe one of the what we say boundary or jurisdiction, but it is regarding the trajectory tracking. Like, for example, you have given a drone a mission, or it's delivering a very highly sensitive or maybe the expansive parcel to one point, but then you control the drone and you change the trajectory. And some clashes, some incidents happened already. Like, if you witnessed 2016 April, British Airway BA727 has been faced a collision with a UAV. So this is one of the news that is already available in the media. So this is how people manipulate the signals. So from these incidents you can see that how much it is important to address the security threats and the control threats for a UAV. It can cause it can bring imbroglio to the lives of people and life of to the society as well. So, for you people, I have summarized all the vulnerabilities and their issues, starting from malware issue, the spoofing, then manipulation, and other common concerns, with references as well. Like, if anyone is willing to go on, they can just search on afterwards. I'll just send this slide to the audience as well. There is also the physical design and control system constraints, which is my favorite in my area. So I'll be welcoming people to contribute in that thing. We have Wi-Fi constraints, and then of course GPS issue is one of the issue that people are facing while delivering a swarm technology to people around. And with this, I think these are the common constraints or vulnerabilities that people are taking advantage. We have like a zero-day attack as well. Like, if any drone is launched with any control algorithm on first day, before launching, there is we need to test them. But then people are very clever. They come up with a technique, and they exploit that drone or their trajectories by spoofing, or maybe the packet fuzzing and sniffing techniques, to manipulate their trajectory, manipulate the data, or maybe just acquire the information. So this pictorial block diagram shows you that how people are doing the things. People are controlling the drone physical and remotely as well. Remotely means they are remotely operated, and physical type means they are what we say they what we say they hold a drone. They divert the drone trajectory, hold a drone somewhere, and then they do some non-invasive attacks, or invasive attacks. So I mean to say that these are kind of vulnerabilities that are today's UAVs are facing. I have also classified table 6 in front of you, which is like specific papers, particular papers regarding the policies and classifications regarding the communication methods, security issues. And then there are some papers that actually highlight the open research area for we people, like the emerging scholars, like the scholars who are trying to contribute in this field, or maybe the PG scholars. So you can identify these papers, and then if you this kind of a platform has been set to collaborate with we people. So one of the area is middle man in the middle attack. What people say, people create a pseudo layer where they just buffer the entire information coming from the drone. They mirror it so that the user can also use, and then they also manipulate, they can also utilize that kind of information for their own use as well. So this is one of the area where people can work on. This entire information was a quick review of my paper, which I just want to show you, and it's a kind of a very clear picture that I want to give. And later on, we can collaborate. This work, I did it with the French collaborator, Professor Anis Lauti in Telecom Sud Paris, when I was there for my research mobility program. And Alhamdulillah, this paper has been cited day by day. And I never thought while working on this work, but see how people are interested in the communication threads of a drone. So in this way, this paper might help you in studying the topic in more detail. This entire session of mine is actually categorized into four aspects to give you a rapid growth and to show you the rapid growth and importance of UAVs, then to put you in the condition where you analyze the privacy and security concerns, and show you the kind of what we say, then quote you some incidents where we have faced the assaults or the problems before. Then just to welcome and give a small like interacting session to just inquire if you have any countermeasure or remaining countermeasures or solutions related to the problems. Few solutions have been given in this paper, and this have been told in this presentation as well as. And of course, we need a continued attention, and this is what we are looking for from this session. Maybe after this, we can have a email communication through email, and then we can start working in particular area. So this is all from my side. I already told you that I never walk alone. Dr. Saiful, Dr. Vijant, and Dr. Anis Lauti, they were the co-authors with me in this presentation. And this entire series was not possible if my director, Dr. Aman Abdullah, had given me this chance to initiate this thing, because through this, we will come across with several people around, and we will increase more collaboration at global level. So that's all from my side. If you have now any questions, you can ask. This is my QR code. You can scan to learn about my research area and my research interest, and then we can later on be in contact with for a long time to collaborate. Yeah. So that's all from my side. I open up the mic for question answers. Yeah.
Thank you, Olam. It is really nice to learn more about the research activities of yourself and the research group as well. And I can see that there is some potential overlap. At least from my side, I can see there's some way to look at things from the communication perspective and how communication can support secure connectivity for UAV. So perhaps this is something to explore in the very near future.
Yeah, doctor, like we have been, I was talking to some of our researchers, and especially our director is so much passionate about, doing collaborations. So he mentioned to me that why not we bring a platform where people share their research and we can invite them to. So yeah, it's a good practice. Maybe like later on, I will be looking forward for you to, maybe supervise some students from our center, and maybe our faculty may, our researchers supervise your students maybe. So this is kind of a healthy relation that academic institutions really need in. So yeah, so I hereby open up the floor. I have few questions, I guess. No, we don't have questions yet.
There was a
Maybe
question that I have answered. I have typed my answer to.
I see. I see. There was question and you answered. Okay, but we haven't. Okay, what security challenge? Oh, this one. Okay, you wrote. Okay.
Yeah, so just to sum up the answer. So at this stage in our work, we are not looking at providing secure communications through the RAS. So we are at the moment looking at the security and coverage frameworks independently. So we're looking at RAS to provide coverage extension for UAV assisted communications, but we are also investigating the employment of blockchain technologies to support authentication, verification, registration of UAVs when they request access to wireless networks, when there is a need to support emergency disasters, for example, or delivery network, or to support any on-demand application. So whenever a UAV needs to join the network, they need to be authenticated in a very trustworthy manner. But this doesn't apply only for a single UAV. Say there is a flock of UAVs or a swarm of UAVs that they would need to join the network to support different layers of the application, whether it is computing, connectivity, storage, whatever it is. So there needs to be a very reliable and trustworthy mechanism to register those UAVs to the network. And we have explored how we can do that through blockchain technologies in order to provide these kind of secure mechanisms.
Yeah, like after all the circumstances happening in, in Palestine and then Ukraine issue, we really need the secured swarm technology, like every country now, in terms of military aspect. So I guess we are also willing to do the similar sort of work, and we have really a good facility over here in KFUPM. Especially, we are good in developing the drones. Our director, Dr. Aman, he developed the drones by his own hands, like deploying the sensors and programming it. And we have been participating in one of the competition. It is known as US 2030, I guess. So every year, a team of KFUPM goes to US to participate in that mission competition. So with your support and with your, participation, I think will do wonders. Why not? So if
Absolutely, that would be my pleasure, because I think there is I mean a very strong basis that we can build on in terms of the facilities, lab facilities available at both your institutions and at our research group as well. So this would definitely, we can promote research visits, collaboration to benefit from our strengths.
yeah, like if I just I show you a bit over here, if you can see, it's blur, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit blurry, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean I'm sitting in a lab where we have a cage by Conser. Have you heard about the Conser company? It's a Canadian. So
Mm-hmm.
we have a plan to extend it, and then we will do some drone thing for 30 or 40 drones within the lab, indoor. So we have a long lab for that. Well, in short, I'm deeply thankful to you that you provided your invaluable time. I understand that lots of commitments are there and the zone timings are different. But again, on behalf of my director and IRC, I really thankful to you. Someone raised a hand, I guess. Who
I
is
think there
that?
is a question on good publicly accessible simulator for UAV assisted wireless networks. So at the moment we are using MATLAB, I believe, to create those environments, and I can see my PhD student is attending, so she can correct me if I'm wrong. At the moment we are doing that through MATLAB. We are also using Wireless Insight to create environments. However, I don't think that is a publicly available simulator. It needs to be licensed. If you are aware, Ghulam, of any, please feel free to share with colleagues.
Yeah, I guess MATLAB is the one that people are doing for the research thing. Then there are like company to company provided simulators. I have one that I forgot to mention in my presentation. Let me see. A few of them I mentioned in my presentation. There are few. One is secure. It's not for the communication, but it is for to monitor the attacking things. Like since I belong to the area of military applications, so it's kind of attacking thing. Like you can simulate the thing, see the communication, and see a real environment thing. So it's a kind of a paid version again. Apart from MATLAB, you will have the mostly the paid version. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and MATLAB is paid as well. Yeah, unless you would need to have a registered account.
yeah.
That's, I mean, what I am aware of, at least.
Yeah. Later on, what we will do, we will actually send them the feedback. So maybe in feedback, if they provided anything, then we will come again. Yeah. Salah, you are now unmute. Can you talk?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for the presentation, Dina, and thank you, Gulam, for also yours. I'm a PhD student in Troyes University in France, so it's my first year. I'm interested in the aspect of security network in drone network.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so my question is, the first question you answered, I really interested in the security aspect. So my one question related to that. So the second question is the consensus that you use in your blockchain for the security. You say that you use the blockchain. In my opinion, I think the problem of the using blockchain in this kind of network is always the mobility, having a distributed ledger, having the data, the same data. So what kind of consensus do you use to solve this problem? There is some solution in the literature, but not only it don't really fit all the needs. For example, the block graph, I'm working on it. He's a promising solution, but in your opinion, what
Yeah, indeed, Salah, first of all, very nice to meet you, and thank you for your question, which is very much on point. Indeed, there is a lot to do in terms of offering a scalable and, let's say, efficient manner for doing that on a decentralized aspect. So currently we have proposed a framework that leverage the use of federated learning as a decentralized and scalable machine learning algorithm that is able to do that on the edge of the network, or sometimes on the drones itself, where there is a need to do part of the computation on the UAVs and then report the outcomes to a server to collect the global knowledge. So and this is because of the fact that there is a limitation in doing or let's say employing blockchain in a centralized manner where all of these processes are centralized. So this becomes even more challenging when the network scales up and when there are different services that needs to be supported. So we have looked at the employability and the efficiency of this machine learning technique to be able to predict whenever there is a need to register or authenticate UAVs in the blockchain framework. And we have also reported the efficiency of them. The results reveal that there is a promising actually performance when it comes to doing that on a decentralized manner, especially that federated learning can be used not only as a privacy preserving kind of a machine learning technique, but it can be used to scale up the the network, where the knowledge learned from one UAV can be shared by another UAV without the need to do the learning all over again. So this reduces the computation required overall. So yes, there are challenges in current blockchain technologies when it comes to UAV networks, because this is a very, very recent research which hasn't matured yet, and there is a lot to explore in that sense. I can type in the paper, which is currently a preprint, but it has more details on the application of federated learning into blockchain-enabled UAVs.
Mhm. Okay, Doctor. So I guess with this, we have Saad Ahmadi, the EE Department IRC of Communications Engineering should also be involved in this collaboration. Services are ongoing. Sure, sir, sure. Once it will initiate it. I mean, we have given the areas where we are working. So later on, I may share your presentation, Dr. Lina, with the registered audience.
Yes, of
And
course, yeah.
then we can make a cluster where we can just go on and collaborating with both of the institutions. Of course, the main aim is like this. So thank you once again, Dr. Lina, for being with us. And maybe like I just
My
initiate.
absolute pleasure. It was a great pleasure, Ghulam, to be with you here, and thank you for all colleagues who have attended. And I'm looking forward for a very fruitful collaboration very soon.
Yeah, thank you so much once again, Dr. Lina. So, ladies and gentlemen, in this way, our session comes to its end, and later on, the slides will be given to the registered registrants, and the recording of this session will be also available by KIKX, which is KFUPM Institute of Knowledge Transfer, on their page, on their social media page. So, Doctor, I will also share you the pictures and the video as well.
Amazing. That sounds great. Thank you so much, Ghulam. Take care, and talk to you soon.
Yeah, sure, Doctor. Assalamu alaikum. Take
Alaikum
care.
salam. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.